What's up, everybody? Hopefully you're doing absolutely amazing. It is a brand new year, and one thing I want y'all to take with you this year, okay? Because I started seeing it this way too. I saw a video and it was so beautiful because I was like, dang, if only I thought of life that way, you know? But it said something like, life is a story, right? It has 365 pages. Each day is a page, right? 365 pages, 12 chapters, of course, the months. And, you know, it's like you have the opportunity, you literally have the opportunity to write your own story. And you really do. Like, you have 365 pages to write in. You have 12 chapters to do it, right? And of course, you know, some of those chapters, they're gonna be messy. Some of those chapters, it's like, you're gonna look back on them and be like, damn, I need to like improve this, or whatever the case may be, right? But always remember one thing, don't dwell. That's the biggest thing. And I'm not gonna lie, I have a bad problem with that. That's one of the hardest things that I'm trying to work on, that I've been trying to fix, is dwelling on certain things and being bitter. That's one of the hardest things. I know with God anything's possible, but it still is difficult to just kind of cope with it, because it's a very natural thing. It's natural to want to look back and dwell on certain things and be like, well, if I would have done this would, you know, stuff like that. And then it's just natural, you know, as humans, we have emotions. And, you know, in the book, it even says it's okay to have those emotions. They are very natural things. What matters, and I want you to take this with you in this new year, okay? This is very important. What matters is what you choose to do based off of those emotions, right? You know, one of my biggest issues was anger. You know, sometimes it still is, but I've been working on it a lot. And the difference it makes when I choose to use that anger to my advantage, you know, maybe sometimes I could get more work done when I'm angry, because it kind of, well, now I should say, you know, I used to get super angry and I would just, once again, that word, dwell on that anger. And then I would just sit there and I would pout, you know, I'd be angry and do nothing with it. But now it's gotten to a point where, you know, it still happens from time to time. It's a process, but now it's like I use that anger to my advantage, and it does help me get a lot of work done sometimes. It can help me actually improve my work, because I'll use that anger to help motivate me. Like, okay, you know, this made me angry, but this is why I'm trying to work towards this. You know what I mean? Like a perfect example is my job. My job, it's not the hardest job in the world, obviously, you know. It's not no blue collar job, nothing like that. But still, it gets angering. And, you know, when you bust your ass all the time and you see all these people getting a free ride, stuff like that, it can get aggravating, you know. Because jobs have this tendency to get on to people that actually do the work, you know, because they hold them up here. So if you're down here and they hold you up here, you know, usually you're gonna get in trouble a lot more often than the people that are already the standard here for them. You know what I mean? Because they expect you, they know what you're capable of. They expect you to be up here, you know. So but yeah, my job makes me angry a lot. I'm just gonna be honest. But that's okay. Like I said, what matters is what you do with those emotions. What you choose to do with those emotions makes all the difference. And like I said, when I get angry now, I help it motivate me. I'm like, okay, I want to do this with my life. I can't get there if I let this anger push me away from it. So let me use this anger to help me achieve this goal. Let me put in the harder work to get out of this situation faster, if that makes sense. Also, like I said, dwelling is a very natural but very bad thing that we tend to do as human beings. And dwelling can cause so much more issues than we may think it would. Dwelling is a very bad, negative thing to do. You never want to dwell on the past. You know, it happened, and it can get saddening at times, you know, because you just sit there and think to yourself like, oh, you know, if I would have done this, I wouldn't be here right now, or I could be here right now. I used to do that all the time, especially when I was like doing music and stuff like that. You know, I was like, if I had just put in that work at that time, there's no telling where I would be at right now. And I even did it a little bit when I was making like just random videos. I was like, if I would have made like videos a long time ago like this, there is no telling where I would be right now. And there really isn't. But the difference is you can have a thought and you could process it that way. The difference is dwelling on it makes it to where it turns negative, because you start to feel sad, you start to feel pity for yourself, and it affects everything around you. It affects your attitude, it affects your emotions, everything. So one thing I want you to take into this new year, if anything, is to not dwell on the past. You can think about it, but think about it in a positive way. Think about what you can do different. Think about what where you're at now and how you can get to a certain place by not dwelling. Oh, sorry, there's people talking. But yeah, think about how you can change that situation for the better. Don't think about where would I be at if I did it. Just say, okay, let me change this, and then eventually I can get to where I need to be. Because also just making that simple change in general gives you that newfound energy, you know. And sometimes we got to ask God to renew our energy. I know I have to a lot, you know, and you can never ask God too much. You know, that's what God wants. He wants you to come to him as much as possible. And I'm telling you, even if you feel like it's a minute problem, in his eyes, it does not matter. Go to him. Seek the renewal of your energy and all that. But yeah, I just wanted to do a quick little video today, say Happy New Year to y'all. Like I said, please take this information to heart with you into this new year, because these are the very simple changes we can make to make sure that this year turns out better for us. And remember, there's going to be rough patches. There always will be. But what matters is how you get back up. Anyways, I love y'all. Thank y'all for watching. And if this helps motivate you, I am very glad. God needed you to see this. I love y'all, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.